Just checking my audio. So you
Yeah,
hear me well? You can hear
yeah, I
me
hear
well?
you well. Don't worry. Everything's well. So let's make a formal introduction for our listener. Gerald, my name is Claudio. I'm calling you from Washington, D.C., from the studios in Fairfax City. We're very humble and grateful that Gerald accepted our invitation to our show. Gerald, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
No problem. So with everything that in the whole world, people die in the pandemic, people want to take the vaccine, people don't, you cannot tour that much, you cannot go out that much. How is this affecting your life, your family, your creativity, the inability to, to go outside and tour for
Yeah,
people?
yeah. No, it affected us here in a very big way. um, how can I say that? I mean, I play before the pandemic. I played about 100 gigs a year, so that's pretty much. And from March till 2020 till now, I played 5 gigs. I think 5 or 6, and two of them were streaming gigs. So it
Yeah.
really changed our life. But I mean, in the beginning, nobody knew what it is exactly, and how to deal with it. Now we I think we got a little bit we got used to it, and I used the first half of the pandemic, if you can say so, from March to about July or August, to produce my album or to finish my new record. I had one planned, but I thought I will do it in 2021, and then COVID-19 came. I had nothing to do, and was just thinking, okay, I have 4 or 5 songs and 4 or 5 unfinished, and so I finished the unfinished, and yeah, and made demos and produced a little bit, and then we went in the studio in July. I talked to my guys, to my band, and so I used this period for a creative process, I think so. And if yeah, I think I would have made the record anyway, but maybe a little bit later, maybe this year or next year. So I preponed everything, and yeah, and yeah, that's how I um, spent my time in the pandemic, in some kind of creative way. But I have to say that I'm teaching I have a teaching job, and so I it's not correct when I say I have nothing to do, but all the concerts were canceled, so that was a little bit difficult in the beginning, to deal with that. Going nowhere, uh, just going out for a walk. Everybody's looking at you like you're sick, and everybody's afraid. It was really strange, but we got acquainted to it pretty soon, and now, yeah, now we're
Well,
hoping that it's getting better this summer.
yeah. Well, your family probably was happy to have you home, because you were not touring that much.
Yeah, maybe or maybe not. I don't know. No, but I have to say that I'm um, regularly, or before the pandemic, I was spent a lot of time at home too, because I'm not so much in a touring band. When we went out, we mostly toured for a week or something like that, and then
Yeah.
I'm home a few months, and then a gig here, a gig there. So I'm not involved in a project where you are constantly touring. It's more um, 2 gigs here with this band, one gig with another band, and so on. The most constant project is my own project, where I sometimes check about 2 or 3 gigs in a row.
Yeah.
Then we are home. Then we have another gig or another 4 or 5 gigs or something like this. So no touring for months for me.
I got
Um,
you.
yeah, I don't know. I never did that. The longest tour I did was, I think, about 2 weeks. So a little bit longer than 2 weeks in a row.
No,
And
wow.
uh, yeah, there was nothing else. The gigs with Tangerine Dream were more single gigs. We played in London, in Warsaw, London 2 times, I think, then in Berlin 2 times, and I was not so much on tour with them.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. All right, so let's go from the beginning. Were you born like in a musical family? When do you begin? Were you born like in a musical family? When you pick up the guitar, and do you take
Uh,
formal lesson? You're on your own?
no, I was not born. I mean, my mother is still very, very musical, but she didn't play an instrument, or my father didn't play any instrument. But my mother knows how to sing, and she always know how to sing the harmony vocals when she hears a melody. But in, in my family, there's no other musician or professional musician, but maybe a generation before there was I don't know what the English word is. He led a small combo. Um, it's called in Österreich is Kapellmeister, band leader, some kind of folk band.
Yeah.
That he where he was the leader. That's what I heard from my mother, but no other professional musicians in my family. And I don't know, I always was totally into music when I heard it in young days. My cousins were pretty musical, and they had a drum set on their in their house, and they played to me some music like Sweet or this kind of 70s rock music. And I really was fascinated with this kind of music. And first I wanted to become a drummer, but my mother asked me, or let's say like this, my mother said I should learn guitar because it's the easiest instrument to learn or to play.
Yeah.
And and I said, okay, let's do that. And then I was about 9 years or 10 years, and went to regular music school, learned classical guitar, and I loved it. But I got an electric guitar, I think, with 12, at the age of 12, I think. So I always was fascinated with guitar when I saw the old TV shows where a guy had a Fender Stratocaster. In these times, I didn't know what a Fender Stratocaster is, but now I know. And I was fascinated with the form and the sound, and yeah, it got more and more. And during my classical lessons, one of my teachers he showed me the minor pentatonic, which is a 5 note scale, and he said, If you know this scale, you can improvise and play solos over almost any tune." And I said, "Okay, good," and I learned that. And from that moment on, I didn't want to do anything else but that. I stopped playing classical. I just wanted to play electric guitar, soloing, improvising, and so on and so on. Yeah, and then we had a small band that we did in my school days with 2 friends of mine, and they both became professional musicians. One is a very famous drummer in Austria, and he played with every uh, big name here, and the other one is also a well-known keyboarder and pianist. and yeah, we played originals, started composing this was at the age of 13 or 14 or something like that. And so the way it went on and on and on, and it got more and more professional. um, then we had I joined a hard rock band. We played classical hard rock music or heavy metal. I don't know how you would call it now, but in these times it was classic hard rock mixed with heavy metal. And I thought at the age of 16 or 17, I said to my friends I will never play anything else than rock and hard rock music. But this changed a little bit. Yeah, but it was a super, um, very nice time, and you're learning the instrument, you're developing some skills on your instrument. You are a band. You with your friends. That's socially, that's a really really important phase. I think it was a very important phase in my life. And I really think about this time with a lot of how do you say, a lot of joy. And I really loved this period in my life. And yeah, and a little bit later, um I thought there must be something else than just playing in one mode or in one key as fast as possible, like it is when you play in a hard rock band. You have a lot of modal progressions, and I thought there must be something else than playing as fast as possible in one key. And then I heard a few guys who mixed rock and jazz music, like Scofield, early Scofield, or Mike Stern, and these guys, and this these musicians and this kind of music brought me into jazz music. I think the very first Mike Stern record was called Upside Downs, and it was about 1985. That was really that had a real big impact on my musical, um, yeah, on my career. And I love this kind of mixture of rock music and jazz harmonies and straight grooves mixed with a lot of nice changes. So, and then I went totally into jazz and started to study jazz um, guitar on a conservatory in Vienna, and started to play in several bands with several musicians. Started to earn money with my with playing music, and this was the thing that I wanted to do for a living. So I knew, okay, I want to make my living with music. But in Austria, it's how can I say that? It's I think nowhere it's easy to to make a living with your own music or with just one kind of music. But in Austria, especially, it's you have to be very versatile and play different styles. And if you're good in different styles, you can play in this band or that band, or in a folk band, or in a top 40 band, or in a jazz band, and you always can earn money. And this is what I did, and this is what I wanted to do. And besides that, I always made my own music and my own records, which was is always some kind of mixture of rock and jazz music, because in my heart I'm a rock musician.
So you decided to make music a career, and your parents, they say, yeah, go for it, no problem.
Well, in the beginning they didn't know what that was, a professional musician. But as soon as I as I earned some money with that, my dad saw, okay, this looks good.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
And they supported me. They never said, no, you can't do that, learn a regular job. It was clear that I will become a musician. The only thing that was really important for my dad was that I finish my school study, and
The gymnasium, the high, yeah,
uh, in Austria it's called gymnasium. I don't know how you say it in America. Secondary
yeah, 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 high school.
high school. Is it high school here? Yeah. And I did that, and then I did nothing else than music, and played a lot of jobs, and always my my own music, which keeps me fresh. And I think when you do your own stuff, I for me, I love to play with other people and play other people's music and go on stage with them. But I don't know if it would be like that if I wouldn't have my own band and my own stuff, where I always can put my creativity. And so I like to play for others and do it as a job. And I always saw it, or did it like a regular job, like you go somewhere and go to work. So if somebody wants to have a guitarist in his band, he expects something, and he hires me for something, and I try to do that as
Yeah,
best as good as I can, not as best.
gotcha, gotcha. You remember what records, vinyl were you buying at the time and listening? I noticed
Yeah,
I think you like AC/DC a lot, right? So,
I remember a few. The Sweet were very important in the beginning.
yeah,
Then I, then I had my phase with Kiss, ACDC. I
yeah,
was a big ACDC fan. And then I had um, a certain phase where I listened to the British heavy metal bands like Iron Maiden and that kind of stuff. And there was maybe one musician that really influenced me a lot until today, and this was Gary Moore. I don't know if you know him, um, but not so much his blues phase, but more his rock phase. His first records that he did after, I think he was in Thin Lizzy, uh, and then made his solo career after a short break with Colosseum 2, which was also a little bit of jazz rock. And I was really fascinated with Gary Moore. He had great songs, great power, and very dynamic guitar playing. And I saw him a few times live, and he influenced me a lot. So I have every Gary Moore record, uh, solo record from that time. Yeah, and then into, as I said, Mike Stern. Um, Big influence was, I stopped listening to Mike Stern at a certain point because um, I started to sound like him, you know, and somebody said that to me. So, you sound like me. And they said, oh shit. Oh shit. And I realized that he was right. I really so I stopped listening to Mike Stern, and but it was important for me because I learned a lot from transcribing the solos and listening to the sound, how he did this and that. So it was, I don't want to miss that. It was really a good influence for me, but I had to stop it.
I
Well,
understand.
yeah, and maybe another big influence is Scott Henderson from the band Tribal Tech. Or Tribal Tech, um, especially, is one of my favorite bands ever. It's the best fusion band that was on earth for me. I love them. Um, Also, Chicory Electric Band was very important for me, and Pat Metheny, But and then I listened to all the other jazz guys, like Wes Montgomery or yeah, guys like this. Yeah, so it's really very different styles, and I still like rock music. I like pop music. I like every kind of music that's what, how can I say that, that is seriously and done, and that where good musicians are involved in. Let's say it like that. I
Uh,
wasn't so much into electronic music, I have to say.
really,
That,
yeah.
that never was, until the
Tangerine Dream.
I got a job with Tangerine Dream, but that never was. I don't know why, but I wasn't that fascinated, or didn't hear the right things, the right bands. I had other
Yeah.
interests. But yeah, it changed a little. I mean, I'm not maybe not the biggest specialist for electronic music, but I like.
Well, if you go to Berlin, everybody like electronic music. That's the
Yeah,
capital of the world in electronic music. And
I know, I
so
know.
many great bands come from that, Germany, so
Yeah, what do you like? Like Kraftwerk and so and
yeah,
stuff.
all the kind of stuff. I have interviewed different um, musicians, and I like, Manuel Goshin and Ezra Temple and Peter Bauman and many others that for me they are Klaus Schulze, they were important. But I like you, right, Gerald? I like rock and roll. I like jazz.
Mhm.
I like electronic music. I like pop, and it depends on the days and soft
Yeah,
rock. Is good music or bad music, right? So
right. It's
that's
just
the
about good music.
yeah,
Just
it's
about.
about good music. Listen to stuff. So I enjoy that, I'm happy that you mentioned Pan Metheny because he's one of my heroes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now I had a very strong Pat Metheny phase. Um, it was the period where what was the name? Still Life Talking.
Yeah, still
This
like talking. Yeah,
record, and what's the live record? Travels. I think the live record is Travels.
yeah. Trouble's a beautiful album too. Yeah.
Beautiful. Pat Metheny, wonderful musician, and I still uh, have some times where I listen to Pat Metheny's music.
Have you
I
ever met him? No,
No, never.
no. Yeah, I
I
interview a
saw him
couple.
live
Huh?
one time in Austria. I saw him live. I saw a live concert in Austria,
Yeah.
which was one of my top three concerts, or maybe top five concerts that I ever saw. It was so good. It was about, I think it must be in 89 or 1990 or something like this.
Yeah.
It's so good. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I have interviewed a couple of drummers from Pan Metheny. Uh,
Yeah. Like
they
Paul Vertigo, I
Yeah,
saw.
Paul Vertigo, right? Paul Vertigo, and then later on, another drummer joined the band, Antonio Sanchez. He's
Yeah.
another. Yeah, I interviewed the guy too, and I have not had the chance to interview Pat Metheny. He's busy, so. And
Yeah.
then, of course, I never interviewed live Maze, but
Mhm,
and
mhm.
but I have seen Pat Metheny. I don't know, like 20 or 30 times.
Really? Really?
Because I really like his music. I mean, for me,
Okay. So was it all in America, or also somewhere?
only in South America and here in the United States.
Okay.
Growing up, when I was 14 years old, I remember when I bought my first vinyl record, I thought to myself, well, if I could listen Pat Metheny once and then Jean-Luc Ponty from France,
Mhm.
I will be happy with the rest of my life. And now I have seen hundreds of shows, so
Yeah.
I'm very music and
Yeah, cool.
it's very important to me. I don't play any instrument, Gerald. I don't know how to read music, but I buy a lot of music and I listen to a
Yeah.
lot of music. It's important. So
You love music. You love to
oh,
listen.
absolutely. And here I'm very lucky. because in the area that I live in the border with two states, with Washington D.C. and
Yeah.
Maryland, and
Yeah.
every band come this way, every band. So you can see, I don't know, 20, 30 shows a year here, easily.
Yeah.
Good
Cool.
bands.
Yeah. In
So
Austria, it's a little bit different. So Metheny wasn't too often here. I think he was here 2 or 3 times, and I just catched him one time. So and in the 80s they didn't come to Austria. They maybe came to Germany,
he
or
went to Germany. So like that, yeah.
but now it's much better. And all the guys that I like, or most of the guys that I like I said, Scott Henderson, or I'm a big Wayne Krantz fan. I don't know if you know Wayne Krantz. He's a New York guitar player. He They play these medium clubs in Vienna with 500 people or something like that, and I go there a lot and see my heroes and my guys that I like at the moment. So
Sure,
that's
sure. Do you like King Crimson?
I like King Crimson, but that's also some kind of band that I wasn't so much into. But
No,
there is no reason, no special reason for that. It's just they didn't cross my my path too much,
sure.
like other bands. I don't know. When I, or for example, Rush or so. I know Rush a little bit from my younger days, and when I now listen to a Rush record, I think, oh wow, wow, great music. I think it would be the same with King Crimson, but I'm not so familiar with the kind of music. If you ask me for an AC/DC record, yeah, I can I can maybe say a little bit more about that.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Maybe.
ACC is going to be touring again. They say in this year, right? They were
Yeah,
just
I heard of that. But we'll see. I think there is just Malcolm Young died last year, the
could
brother
be
of,
two of the original, two or three original guys.
yeah,
But
and
they're always good, man.
yeah, they're always good. I
The,
think.
the, the drummer got in trouble with the law. I don't know if it was
Right,
arrested.
Bill Rudd, he had some serious troubles, I think. What I remember, but he's playing now with them, right?
Yeah, he's going to be playing, and the main guitar player, and he's always trying to find a good vocalist and another
Yeah,
guitar
yeah,
player. But they are very, very good, man. They're very popular here in the United States.
yeah,
No matter who playing with them, they can sell
yeah,
50,000 tickets in a week.
yeah. Right.
The same like the Rolling Stone. No matter where they play, who is coming, the tickets go like that. They're
Yeah, yeah.
they're
All
very
right.
good. Yeah. So tell me about how you end up, with Tangerine Dream. You needed to audition for the band. How came along?
Yes, some kind of audition. It was a little bit it was a funny situation because Tangerine Dream, they moved to Austria. I don't know if you know that. Maybe Bernie told you about that. Um, they had a second home in Austria beside their Berlin
Yeah.
home, and this is not so far from my home. I mean, in Austria, nothing is is very far away. You can't compare it to America, but it's
Right.
about an hour with the car. And I remember that a former student of mine, um, he lived in the same, I think, in the same village where they moved, or maybe somebody lived there, and he knew the guys there,
Yep.
and they. So he told me the story like that. Tangerine Dream, they were looking for a guitar player, a local guitar player, and he went there and played, and they jammed a little bit, and he said, I think maybe both parties said it didn't fit that well,
Sure.
but
Sure. Sure.
he told them, um, that he knows a guy who could fit pretty good into this project. And this guy, I was the guy, and so he called me. And then Edgar Fröse called me because my former student recommended me. So
Gotcha.
until that, uh, I knew the name Tangerine Dream. I knew they were popular, but I didn't know anything about the music. I knew they did some film music for I think Stephen King, and some crime series Tatort in Germany. That's what was in my mind, but I didn't know too much. So and I went there and we jammed a little. Edgar played a few tracks that he produced, and I had to play to this track, just a little bit comping and a little bit soloing. And after this jamming, so he asked me if I would do the job, if I would play on the record, and I said yes, sure, of course. But I didn't really know how big this thing was, to be honest. I realized that when I played my first show with them in London, when we were at the sound check. I mean, I always have to say I know that they were pretty famous, and people know them. And I went to the sound check, and there were in the afternoon there were a lot of hundreds of people at the backstage door, and I I went in with my guitar, and some people came to me and said, oh, look at this, hey, here's the guitar player. Let's ask him. And I was very surprised, and I didn't know how to react, because
Wow.
I wasn't used to that. That was, and so this was the time where I realized, okay, there is something, there is something I don't know. And people came, they didn't play too many shows in the 90s, what I remember. And people came from Greece, from Portugal, from any country, from even from America, to the show in London, with some pictures they drew, and stuff they brought, and it was really strange. And so, but I realized then, okay, I think they have a great fan and big fan base. This is something special. Yeah, and this is how I came to Tangerine Dream. So I played the first record, I think in '95, Tyranny of Beauty, which was pretty cool. And then we made a second record. It's called Goblin's Club, and there is a little uh, some kind of sad thing for me with this record, because we recorded really a lot of guitars for this record, and I think the tracks were really cool. And Edgar told me, oh, this is really cool stuff that we did here. And this was it was the first time when the ADAT recording machines came up. I don't know if you know, digital audio machines,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and they had some guy there who recorded from Berlin, and we recorded, I think, 10 or 12 tracks or more. I don't remember. A lot of stuff, and real cool stuff. And a few um, days or a few weeks after the recording, Edgar called me and said, hey, we have some serious trouble with the audio stuff. uh, Something happened, and about 80% of all the guitars were gone and were not there. And they had to, they had a timeline. They had to bring out the CD on a certain, or the record on a certain date. And so we couldn't record a second time, and they just used, so 2 or 3 tracks were left and made it on the record. But we recorded a lot of more, and that was a little bit sad because I think that would have been a real cool stuff with a lot of guitars. And this record is not so, there are not so many guitars because of that serious these serious troubles they had with the recording stuff. And one more thing is that I think there were three songs with guitar, and the credits were also not correct. They credited Sharon for one guitar track that I played. So
Oh,
I was I was just on two tracks. But I have to take a look at it. I don't know if it's one or two track where the credits were wrong. It was just a mistake. It wasn't on purpose. It's
yeah,
a mistake.
gotcha. It was difficult to learn Tangerine Dream music for you, or
Yes, it was difficult because, not because it was so complex, but they were pretty long songs,
yeah.
um, and always a little bit different, a little bit here, a little bit that, and a little bit this and that, and this was very difficult. So live, it was really hard. I really had to learn them, and I had some sheet music on the floor where I didn't write too many notes, but just some orders of parts, and so because otherwise it was really hard. It would have been too much. Um, yeah, so it was difficult. Yeah, because of the sometimes they have. Uh, how can I say, a few bars here, a few bars there, then the other part, the part A comes again, but with not 6 bars, just 4.5 bar and something like that. So it's always a little bit changing and a little bit different, and this made it pretty difficult. But I really have to say that I really enjoyed it to be on stage live with them, because you don't have in Austria, you don't have that many opportunities to play big gigs like this, where really professional audio, professional crew, um, cool venues. It's not that often, so I miss that, and I would have loved to play a little bit longer with them. Yeah, but
How many shows were you guys doing a year at a time?
no, in general, I played. You mean with Tangerine Dream?
Yeah, with Tangerine Dream. Yeah, you
I
in
just
general.
in general, I think I played 8 shows or something like that. So not too much. Um, and there was a tour planned for, I don't remember the year. It must be maybe late 90s, and uh, which I had to cancel because I the situation was I already was a teacher for jazz guitar at the conservatory, and I had a full teaching job, and I had my family. At this time, I had 2 kids, and
That's okay. He can
it's
come and introduce
it's my
himself.
son. My son's coming with something.
Come,
What?
come on, come on.
Yeah,
Hello.
hello. It's just audio. um,
He play music too or no?
no, he's a soccer player.
Right. Oh wow.
Yeah, but at the moment he's just
Gotcha.
training fitness and stuff like that. Um, yeah, there was a tour planned in America, and I would have loved to do that, but I had to cancel it because it was I had to check a sub for me for teaching for me. I would have to pay this guy, and it was so. so difficult with the money for the tour that that I said, okay, I can't do it. It's not for me. It's not economic, you know. And the bad thing was that the whole tour was canceled after I canceled the tour with them because they were not because of some troubles with the venues or whatever. I don't know. So if I wouldn't have canceled it from my side, I maybe would have played longer in the band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
it
yeah.
was it, this was a real strange situation a little bit, but things are, yeah, things happen, and
Yeah,
that's
sometimes it's like that. Uh, Sometimes like that. You remember who you were playing with at the time at Tangerine Dream?
yeah,
Who
sure.
was in the band?
um
Do you remember? That?
my first gig, it was Jerome and Edgar, of course.
Gerald Gradwohl. Yeah, yeah.
Then a guitarist from London, a second guitarist from London. I don't remember his name. He played. I would have to take a look at my papers if I. Um, and I think that this was it. It was just maybe Iris was already in the band, but I don't remember what. No, at the first gig, Iris wasn't there, and at my second London gig, Iris was in the band. So Iris Camaa and who else?
You play with Linda. That was no
Yeah, and Linda. Sorry,
Linda
thank
too.
you,
Yeah,
Linda.
yeah.
Of course, Linda. She was in the band at the first at my first gig too, and later there was also a German drummer who played in Osnabrück Festival. But I also don't remember his name because he just played this one gig or these or two gigs, and it's really 25 years ago. I don't remember.
Gotcha. Yeah,
In,
I interview, as I say, I interview. You call it Iris. I call Iris in English. Yeah,
yeah.
she has been very nice, very good to me, and she's the one who put me in touch with Bernie. And then Bernie put me in touch with you. So I'm trying. Hopefully, one day I wanna have the opportunity to interview Linda as well, and I of course I interviewed Thorsten like 4 months ago. And man, I would like to do like a Tangerine Dream reunion. But I don't know. I don't know if
that
people
would be that would be fun, but yeah. Uh,
definitely.
so you already interviewed Linda or not, or
No,
it's
I have not. I need to get a hold of her. I sent a couple emails. She got no reply. So if you
okay.
know her, you can put me in touch. Would be great. Yeah.
I know her just a little. Yeah, I know her a little bit, but I can check the phone number again if you
Yeah.
or maybe Iris knows her better than me.
Yeah. I will definitely will. I will. And will. So let's talk a little bit about your life after Tangerine Dream. I was able to listen to three of your albums, The Big Lamb, and Raw, and some of the early ones. That's very very good stuff, man.
Thank you very much.
And I want to bring your attention three song that I listened to last night when I was preparing for the debut. Esquire 78.
Mhm.
Feel free to elaborate on how the particular composition came together and so on and so forth.
Squire 78. That's funny. Maybe because it's a some kind of riff that you can remember. But uh, when I compose or when I'm at home and when I'm practicing, sometimes I jam around with the guitar and play a
Yeah.
little, and and some riffs come to my mind. And this particular riff from Squire 78, I played that when I tried out a Squire guitar, a Squire Stratocaster that I bought recently.
Gotcha.
This is where the name Squire 78 comes from, and the 78 comes from. I had a new distortion pedal. It's called Custom MXR. What is it called? custom 78 distortion.
Yeah.
And this combination, when I tried this this guitar and the distortion pedal, I this riff came to my mind, and so then I mostly write. I write it down. I write down the riff and write a working title, and this working title was it's still the title of the track. So, and then mostly I record a few ideas that I have, and then I try to go from a riff or a motif or a melody to the next melody or to the next part, and so the whole song. So mostly a whole song is the result of this kind of work, and yeah, it's the funny thing is this is the on Spotify the one with the most streams. I
Mm.
don't know why, because of the riff, maybe. I don't know.
Very good, man. I also listen to Wika Walk.
Kiva walk.
Kiwa, yeah, yeah, Kiwa,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what Kiva is?
No, no.
No, I tell you, you remember my son walking through the door?
Yeah, Stepstone, yeah.
He came here, and this song I wrote in my mind when I went with him when he was a little baby in the
Ah, gotcha.
Kinderwagen.
Ah,
Kiva, the
okay.
Kinderwagen, and I always went for a walk with him, and one time this main riff from this thing I had it in my mind, and then I sang it to my telephone, and to remember it at home, and I made the song.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That's
beautiful. That's beautiful.
it's a
Is
rock.
he is he a good soccer player? Is he-
Yeah, he's a good soccer player. Not a professional, but he plays in a pretty good. It's called under 16 in
Yeah,
a higher league, under 16, and he's a good player, offensive midfielder.
yeah. Maybe he will make it pro, man.
Maybe it's too late now, but we'll see. I think it's for a real pro. You maybe we would have chosen. We should have chosen another way. So I think you have to put him in a school where he's the whole week, but he didn't want that. We didn't want that. So I don't know. Maybe he shall play as long as he
He
loves to
wants,
play. And
he can go to school and
that's
do it for fun, To
right.
I also listen to the funk with an attitude.
Yeah.
Indeed, that's that funky one, man. That's very good. Very
Yes.
different from the stuff you have done before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's with a good friend of mine with features Hubert Tubbs.
Yep.
He's a singer from America.
Yep.
He was once in Tower of Power for a certain time, and he lives in Vienna. And I sometimes play jobs with him. Iris knows him very well, by the way.
Yeah. I'm going to be interviewing him in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's cool. Now Hubert is a super funny guy,
That's a
and
funny guy.
he's he's a very special voice, and I played a few jobs with him, and we always have something to do with each other, and for I am this song needed some kind of vocals, and then I thought Hubert would fit perfect for that, so I hired him and we did it. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That was I really like the guy. It's a lonely beat, but I really like it, man. So for going forward, what's the plan for the near future? Are you the album that is already done? You want to be releasing and then touring with that particular album?
Yeah.
That's the
Uh,
plan.
the album has been released on April 16, so it's now available on every platform and via or my website. You get all infos there, and the plan. It's hard to plan anything at the moment. I'm for the third time. I'm moving my little tour. I moved it from March last year to fall last year. I had to move it from fall to spring this year and this spring. So now I have to move it again to the next fall. I don't know when we can do our gigs, but we already played a few. We played two streaming gigs, which is okay, but it's not my favorite thing to do. It's the audience is really missing, and
When in your country things are going to be opening up for touring?
we have now on May 19 there are some opening steps.
Yeah.
So we were closed now for from November till now completely. Every cultural event, everything, and school and so on. But on May 19, everything is planned to open with several restrictions like testing and vaccination and so on, and half of the people, but they also open sports. We were not allowed to do any sports, indoor or outdoor. So my son was used to train soccer 4 times a week, and for a half a year they did nothing. So they're starting again, and we hope yeah, the concerts should open again, but it's not so easy to organize concerts within 2 or 3 months, you know. So I'm now moving a few concerts to November, October, November, and I hope that in fall we can do some kind of regular life and regular concerts. But I really don't know. It's a phase, and that's a strange thing for me. Uh, you do something, you plan something, but I always have to say, but I don't know if it happens. So nothing is fixed. That's really strange, and yeah, I don't know what to say here.
No need to wait.
Yeah,
It's until every country says it's okay, because there are so many people that even here in the United States, some people want to get the vaccine, it's available. Some people say, no, 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 it's a conspiracy. I don't
yeah,
want to take the vaccine. Other countries, they don't have the vaccine, they would like to have. So it's,
yeah. So are you already ready? Did you get your shot
yeah,
or
yeah, I got my vaccine a month
two?
ago. Yeah.
Two?
No, I did only one, the Johnson and Johnson.
Johnson is just one. Okay,
Yeah, and I was fine.
okay,
And then I go to the office like 3 or 4 times a week. So I'm an engineer. So I
uh-huh.
work some time from home, but I need to go in.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
and everybody at my company, and everybody got the vaccine. We still need to wear masks and everything,
Yeah,
and stay like 3 or 4 feet apart or something. But
yeah.
things are improving here in this country, and hopefully will the whole world. Because I would like to go and see shows, man. I miss you miss playing in front of the band. I miss going to see musicians.
I can tell you that I also miss going somewhere. I would, if there would be a concert here, I would watch every concert that's near my place, even if I don't play, because I miss going out and just yeah, having a drink, listening to good music. It's so
About
it's really. Uh, I'm very glad that I'm some kind of how can I say that I'm not a depressive person. I'm a pretty um, happy person.
yeah.
But I have to say, in the last weeks when the weather is bad, there is no sun, no nothing, nobody's out there. You always see the same people. I started. Oh God, now I really get sick of that now, really.
Of course, yeah. You
You
want to see
understand?
sun. You want to go out. You want
Just,
to listen to some music. Drink a
and
couple beers.
I think it should be possible. Um, some kind of opening has to be now, and I hope the numbers will also help us to achieve that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lower. Where our listeners can buy your music? Feel free to mention your website and
Yeah, of course, there's always information on my website
yeah. Yeah.
www.gradwohl.at. But you should get every record on all the regular platforms. Like I don't, uh, yeah, I shouldn't say it, but it's available on Spotify and Apple Music and everything.
Feel free
Um,
to. Yeah, yeah. Do you
and you
have
can,
anything in Bandcamp?
yeah, and Bandcamp.
In Bandcamp, yeah. That
For
pays well. I mean,
Bandcamp is maybe the best thing to
the best.
buy
Yeah,
because almost I think at least 80% go to directly to the artist. That's a
yeah.
cool thing. If you have Spotify, if you stream it, nothing comes to the artist. So um,
You need like a million hits a
yeah,
month or something.
yeah, a month, and then you can maybe make a living of it. But I think it's my 25,000 streams on Squire 78 or something. They were maybe $60 or something. I don't know, but there is a website. It's also on my webpage where they send the CDs and the vinyl internationally.
Yep.
But Bandcamp is a cool thing. And yeah, to mention is that my last record is the first time in my life that I made vinyl. So
Yeah,
I
beautiful, man. Yeah.
I grew up in the time when the CD got bigger and bigger. I have I myself grew up with vinyls, of course, and then so mid '80s when I started to record music, the CD was the next thing, and now after 30 years, the CD is gone, but vinyl is still
Vinyl's coming
back.
back. Yeah. You
Vinyl
you
is
you have like a big vinyl collection, a big CD collection? No.
not big, but I have some. I have some kind of rock music and some kind of jazz music like this. But I start to buy vinyl again because I bought a vinyl player
Yeah.
a few months ago, and I'm now starting to buy vinyl again.
Of course, me too, man. I have I have a big collection CDs and
Yeah.
vinyl.
I
And
have, you know what I have? I have a big collection of cassettes. I
you
still
do?
I still
Come
have
on, man.
550 cassettes, um, all in a map wrote where I wrote what kind of album it is, and I still have them. And sometimes I try them and to see if they still work, and most of them still work.
That's
So
beautiful, man.
I
Yeah.
don't want to throw them away. I want to keep them. So I think 565 or something cassettes with stuff on it.
Man, you have how many guitars do you have? You have like 10, 15? Yeah.
No, no,
It's
more.
more?
Yeah, yeah. You see, I think you
I
see
see that side. Yeah, only like 10.
just 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Then seven, seven here on this side. On the back, I have another 7 or 8. In general, I have about 30 guitars.
My God.
Some are in cases in the back there. About 30.
And then when you go and play with guys and you go on tour, how many did you take with you? Like 5
One.
or only one? Yeah.
No, two. No.
No,
Two.
you need to take like 3 or 4, right? Yeah.
Mostly, I take at least two because one is my main guitar, and a second one is a spare guitar. So if something happens, I don't like too much to change guitars on stage because it's always can be a sound problem. This guitar is a little bit louder. You have to check that. So I try to stick to one
Yeah.
model, but I always have one in spare, or maybe an acoustic guitar or two. It really depends. When I play with my band, I have two guitars with me, but for example, I play a TV show once a year. It's called Dancing Stars, where we play where there's a big orchestra, and there I have 5, 6, 7 guitars. So every track that we play has maybe a different guitar, but it's not so much to carry around because it's they are in the place where the show takes place. It's
Yeah.
TV station over 10 weeks, and so it's not that much effort for me to bring always 5 or 6 guitars.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Definitely, I wanna, email you after I send you the link to the interview, and definitely I wanna get some of your music, man. The vinyl and some CD autograph. We'll work it out. I would.
Yeah, well, remind me on
Yeah,
email.
yeah, I
The
will. I will.
only thing is the sending one of the vinyl. I have to check out from Austria. It's sometimes a little bit difficult to America because but maybe it's getting better in the next weeks. For example, I sent some CDs boxes to CD Baby. I don't know if you know CD Baby. It's an online distributor, and it took about 2.5 months to that it's
They
uh,
they stay in factories until
it's really strange a little bit, but we work something out.
we'll.
You just let me know what you want to have, and I
Yeah,
send you.
definitely. Yeah, and then I will send you. If you can, if you can, I'm still in touch with some of the other Tangerine Dream guys. I would love to.
Yeah, sure. No problem. I have to, but please remind me.
I
Send me
will.
your send me your address, and
Yep.
then I can put a package together.
Okay, that would be good. Well, thank you very much for your time, and that was
You're
a
welcome.
great time. You're a very good musician. You were very well recommended by Bernie, man. He's a very
Yeah,
good. Bernie's a very cool guy too. I like his personality. He's
he's
very.
yeah, we played one Tangerine Dream gig together. Did he tell you that we played at
No, no, I didn't know. I thought you were in
we played
different period.
yes, so he was some years after I played,
Yeah,
but we played two shows together. One in Berlin, Tempodrom, and one in another German Eberswalde. I think there is. Let me check if I have the DVD here.
yeah.
um, no, give me a second.
Take your time. Take your time.
I think it's Orange Odyssey. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know if you see it, but this
Yeah.
is
Wow. No, I don't have that one, but yeah, I can recognize. What year was that?
so I'm the guy here,
Right there. Yeah.
and this is Bernie,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
and
Who else is there?
Thorsten,
Yeah, Torsten. Yeah.
Iris, Thorsten, Linda,
Yeah.
and producing it. This was when was that? 2007.
Gotcha. Yeah.
2007.
Yeah.
It's called Orange Odyssey.
Yeah.
And
I need
so
to
this
get it.
is one that where we played together. Maybe it's on the web somewhere at YouTube. I'm not sure.
I will check it out. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Orange Odyssey. Um, maybe I send you a link if I find it.
Yeah, that would be great, man.
Me together. It was really fun because we know each other pretty well, and I think it was too much rock and roll for Edgar. I really think so because it was really fun. We had our fun and we played.
Yeah.
And I think it was too much for Edgar.
For Edgar, yeah. Well,
But
hopefully you can come toward the end of the year or next year to America to play some gigs here. I would love to meet you and see you live, man.
well, this would be cool. Maybe one thing you asked me for the future.
Yeah.
I am already into the next production with
Yeah.
two American musicians that I played before with Adam Nitti. He's a bass player, lives in Nashville and plays with Kenny Loggins, for example, guys like that. But he's a
Yeah.
monster bass player. And with Kirk Covington, a drummer, he played with Joe Zawinul, and he played with Tribal Tech, and so.
Yeah.
And he's on the Big Land album, the drummer,
Yeah.
and I have already 4 songs, and maybe I finish another 4 songs with them via remote recording. So we're recording at home,
Yeah.
sending the files, and I want to prove with this record that it's possible to do a record that sounds like we play together,
Like we play
but we
together. Yeah.
didn't play together.
Yeah.
So that's my goal, and maybe I finish that this year because I started this thing at the same time when I recorded the last one, episode 6, and I wanted my original goal was to combine my regular band, my local band, and the Americans, but then we had we had too many tunes, and so I separated it, and I do 2 records, but I don't know if I can afford it. I'm not. I have to check out how it's the recording is
Yeah.
the problem, but we'll see if it's a CD or if it's a special thing in the future that's just online. I don't know. I have to think about that. But that's
But hopefully I can see you playing live.
This would be cool, and this is what I wanted to say. The drummer always says, "Hey, come to my place." He lives in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Yeah.
So and this would be cool to tour with them. These two guys, they are monster players, but I don't know if that will happen that soon. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. So we keep in touch, huh?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and probably we'll meet you soon, and then we go to a couple of beers. So.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Go to dinner, man.
Send me your contact address.
I will. Yeah.
And what do you would like to have, and I send you a package, right?
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
Have a great afternoon. Take it easy.
See you. Thank you very much.
No problem.